this video is gonna cause a lot of heat. So, as a kid, man, I was deep into Disney movies, man. Love me some fucking heroes. The hero that I identified when I was a kid was Aladdin, because I was poor. I lived in the Philippines. My parents were gone for like 3 years. And man, as a kid, that was me, man. Stealing food, running away from like cops, right? All that stuff. And I loved that movie. When I didn't even know that movie existed until I came to America and I saw it and I was like, he's brown, he's stealing. I mean, I didn't have a monkey, but god damn, that was me. I went out a couple of days ago with a couple of friends of mine who introduced me to a bunch of brand new people, right? There's multicultural, white, black, Hispanic, me. And we were talking about, Disney movies and specifically the live actions. And I was like, yeah, man, like the Mulan one I had tons of issues with as the Asian guy, right? The Aladdin was alright, but to me it just felt like Hitch Part 2, with Will Smith kind of doing his thing. But the question came out, it's like, all right, what movie do you want to see next? And this one girl looked at me directly, and I was like, this bitch about to say something crazy. She was like, yeah, Hunchback of Notre Dame, they need to make one. And I was like, not my most favorite movie, but okay, I mean, I can work with that, right? And she was like, with a plot twist. And I was like, okay, what do you mean? He's like, that guy doesn't have to be French. You know how he could be? And everybody just kind of looked at her. He should be Asian, because they're the Quasimodos of the dating world. And everybody looked at me. And I looked at this bitch. Bro, I took a shot of tequila and I'm like, man, I'm gonna go in. I looked at my boy who knows me, and I'm just kind of like, I was like, yo, I'm about to go in. And he was like, time out, let's take a walk. Because man, like, the thing was, she wasn't the Asian one. Usually, like the Asian girl is gonna be the one that says this type of shit. And she wasn't. And so, I mugged the shit out of her the rest of the night. Like, I told everybody, don't bring this bitch next to me because you're about to get clowned. But I drove home, sober, obviously. And I drove home and I was like, is there truth to that? Is there truth to that? Have we, the Asian guy, the Asian men, become the Quasimodo of the dating world? So let me start. Quasimodo, right? Like, take the Disney element out of this, right? I had a big problem with Asian dudes always complaining about how the white guy is taking away all the Asians, or how I wish I was the white dude, or the white guy's taking all the opportunity. In some aspects, yes. But if we're just talking about directly in the dating world, and I took a look at it, I'm like, what that bitch said was actually kind of true. But also, I gotta take a look at the Asian guy, and I'm just kind of like, hey man, when did you become the gatekeeper of Asian women? What's the deal with the dick riding of the white guy? And don't get me wrong, I am not blind to it. But if we just take a look specifically in regards to dating, right? Like, where did the self-hate come from? And I guess that's where the girl comes, like she made a point with, in regards to, y'all are the Quasimodo of the dating world. I mean, let's take a look, right? Let's take a look. Take a look at this picture of this cat, right? When people say this is you, there's a part of me that says like, okay, this is the Asian guy, right? Just obviously I'm Asian, so like, this is me. But when I take a look at the character specifically, and I'm like, okay, if I'm super judgmental at it, right? I'm like, let's take a look at the Quasimodo, right? This motherfucker's short, he's not in shape. Look at his hair, look at his eyes, look at his hygiene, look at his nose. Look, that little bird right there in the front? That's the Asian guy's heart, right? Ready to put it out there. So when I take a look at it in the most judgmental sense of me, right? Half clowning, half really taking a deeper look, I'm like, damn, man, that motherfucker is me. Just physically is me. Because if you close your eyes and somebody describes you, Quasimodo, without saying it's Quasimodo, what's the first kind of dude he's going to come into your mind's eye? Crazy part, eyes slanted, he's short, right? Hygiene's kind of fucked up. I mean, you know what it is, right? This is your crush, man. This is who you're looking at. Fine ass girl. Could be an Asian chick that lives in California, right? Sun-kissed, but this is every other woman. And I don't blame you. She's fine, she's pretty, she's confident, everything that you're looking for. But statistically, in the eyes of everybody else, does the Asian guy have the inner confidence to go step to this chick? Kind of speaks for yourself, right? There you go. Here goes your Asian daddy. Rich as a motherfucker, confident, cocky as shit, right? Because he overcame what he needed to overcome. Look at the look. It's like, oh no, you're not playing sports. Oh no, you're not gonna be an animator. You're not gonna go video games. You know what you're gonna do? You're gonna go Be a tech bro. You're gonna do finance. You're gonna be a doctor. You're gonna be a lawyer. You're gonna be everything that you don't want to be, but I want you to be. Take a look at that dude's eyes, man. How many times as an Asian guy you had a conversation with your dad and it turned out like this in your point of view? Right? And he goes, your homies, right? Same as you, right? It's your circle. It could be that friend that you have on Asian Reddit that keeps glorifying how the white guys keep taking all the Asian sisters. And there goes your fat sister there in the middle who done gave up talking to the dad and just kind of accepted her fate. He's like, yeah, I'm just gonna go to nursing. Or I'm gonna be a doctor or a lawyer. Fuck it. I'm gonna get mine regardless whether I'm skinny or fat. All right, as long as the money from daddy and mommy come in so I could pay for college. So I could go to UCLA or USC without having to fucking pay for it. All right? And there he is. All right, next slide, next guy. All right, it's the white devil. All right? Comes from a freaking probably a good family, sometimes a broken family. This motherfucker ain't got no clue of all the bullshit that you're dealing with. He's just like, hey man, I'm new to this school. Nice to meet you. And you're already hating his ass. Right? Because guess what? The second you go out with this guy and he finds your crush, right? All of a sudden now it becomes a competition. And if you're not good with competition, right? Because you never played sports and you just looked at freaking computer codes all day, right? You're gonna feel a certain way. I know that feeling, man. As an ugly guy, man, and not even Asian, but as an ugly dude, and I hang out with my fucking good-looking friends, man, I feel a certain way. I'm like, shit, man, I better dot my I's and cross my T's, because in the looks department, man, it's going to be an uphill battle. But here's the kicker. This is you. This is all the excuses that you make. All right? Oh, fucking too short. Oh, freaking, I have a small penis. And this is like, these are your emotional tomatoes. Your internal tomatoes, right? You're handcuffing. It ain't nobody else handcuffing you. It's you handcuffing you. All right, just stopping you from doing what you need to do. It's like, oh man, Asian guys are supposed to be quiet and timid, right? Somebody told me that, like they don't like Asian guys and they always say no to me. Like that's you, right? Internally. And guess what? From the way that you look, from both your crush and for your new white homeboy, this is what you're doing. If you ever watch Hunchback of Notre Dame, you notice that Phoebus only shows up like 3 minutes in, and he's already getting a girl, and half the movie already went. This is what you're doing. You're bringing them closer to you, closer to each other, right? Because of all this baggage internally that you have. And guess what? This is what the ending looks like. Yep. Look at the way that bitch is looking. She's like, yeah, I knew this was gonna happen. This is your Asian woman white guy trope. Or your little Hispanic Latina with a white dude. Look how they look at each other and look how they look at you, man. Yo. No wonder motherfuckers be making crazy ass YouTube videos like that guy from my last. Oh, God. All right. But this is you. It's like, hey, man, fuck it. I'm in tech. I'm making a bunch of money. I got a fucking BMW. I'm winning, in whichever way you think winning is. But man, I remember watching this part of the movie specifically, and I'm just kind of like, what did he do? What did he win? I was like, man, what? Isn't the hero supposed to get the girl at the end? Minus if it's your sister, like it is in Star Wars. I finished watching Hunchback of Notre Dame. I was like, somebody must have fucked up in the writing because this is the most anti-Disney movie that I've ever seen. But internally, and if I could just be serious for a quick second, as an Asian guy, I asked myself, man, like, who teaches this to people? Right? Like, where did this belief come from? Because here's my thing. My dad was fucked up, but he never taught me to be scared of the white dude, or the white dude is going to be the guy that's going to take the woman from me. Never had that. I went into the military, which is like 70% white people. I had like competitors, but never competitor to a chick. So I'm just kind of like, you go into the battle with your shield already half broken and your sword already half gone. And I'm like, how do you expect to win? Internally, like, what does that say about you? So as a guy, especially as a young dude, I was like, I want to know what it's like to go against the toughest and the baddest types of motherfuckers just to see where I stand. Right? Because you know what I mean? Like anybody could have physical courage. But what about mental and emotional courage? You know, if this Quasimodo thing is what's been beaten into you, how would you know any better? Until like an Asian guy takes it away from you. Then you'd be like, okay, now it's fair. But yeah, when there's, you know, the white dude is like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take your girlfriend. And you'd be like, you know what? That happens all the time anyways, man. You just go grab another one. So it's like you're taking an L, but if it's not from a fellow Asian guy, you don't take it as an L. But when you play the game against people who know what they're doing, yeah, man, it doesn't make any difference. Here's another question. What does that say to all the other guys, right? So two other cultures, right? The Hispanic brothers, right, and the black dudes. And guess what? Who are also eyeing your Asian queen, right? What does that say about them? Like, how are you going to fight against them, who are culturally the most attractive, right? Because it's not white guys number one, black guys number two. It's black guys number one, Hispanic guys number two, white guys number three, and then the Asian guy number four. So what are you going to do with them? You're so focused on the white guy. That's a question you got to ask, man. That's a question that I'm asking you. It's like, what's your defense against a black dude who's 6'5", plays basketball, got a big dick, right? Well, what about the Hispanic guy, right? Whose parents love him, who understands family dynamics, right? Who could make really good looking children, who could dance, knows how to shake their body. Fuck the dick size, right? The movement itself is just gonna get you. All right, so what's your defense about that? Educate me on how you deal with people like that. I know I've been complaining for like the last 15 minutes, but here's what I want you to do. Stop being a bitch and come on, right? Because here's a newsflash. All this insecurity is just a deflection, man. It's a reflection of your damaged inner picture. Either one, you don't know it's broken, or number two, you allow it to stay broken. You know, I wasn't immune to this type of stuff, right? When I left for the Marines, I knew when I went to college, I was like, I ain't got to take finance. I ain't got to take tech. You know what I did? I took psychology in college. And my psychology professor figured it out in like day 6. He was like, you know what? You don't have the social skills in regards to interpersonal relationships. Not as a dude. And guess what? In psychology, every single one of my classmates was a woman. And I was the only dude. And she looked and she studied in my interactions with them. It's like, It's like, you need to stay in this major or else your life is going to fuck us up. Your relationships with women is going to suck. Good luck having a girlfriend. Good luck understanding what it's like to be a dad or a husband, because you don't have it. Now, it's not my fault. Right? Hey, man, my pops didn't do a good enough job, at least in that department. So I'm like, I listened to my psychology professor. I was like, you know what? Let me stay here a little bit. And guess what? I figured it out. Like a lot of this stuff, man, Asian dudes, I'm not saying that dad is to blame, but all those things are taught by your father. And if your dad isn't either in there or doesn't care about you growing socially, which I understand, right? Like, you need to learn this stuff. Like, not even just therapy, man. Like, you need to study this. You need to study social dynamics to figure out. And that's how I learned. I was like, oh shit, I didn't know this stuff. Damn. And I asked questions. Like, I couldn't allow myself to whine about other races taking women that I like, but yet I don't have the balls to study myself. Now, you have the balls to complain and not have the balls to study. Right? To go in there, right? To dig in, or, like, you have the key to that box that you unlocked with all your feelings. Pull that shit out and study that shit. As you should, as a man should. Right? To level yourself emotionally. I understand, man, life isn't fair. I know it. I know it. God, boy, do I know it. There's the difference between fairness and waiting to fail. There's a wide difference in that. And you can't, you can't complain other races, bro. You could blame them until you what? Honestly, I never blame any other race, right? Okay, maybe black guys basketball, but I'm just kind of like, dude, okay, like that never, I never made it to where like I hate all the black guys because they're taller than me. You know, if there's people to blame, if you're talking about races, man, it's like shit. You know, it's like, you know, why don't you go to Portugal and blame all the Portuguese for invading Japan back in the day? Or if you're Filipino, it's like, hey man, let me go to Spain, let me go to Japan, and start yelling at those motherfuckers. Because at the end of the day, people are free to do what the fuck they want, and they have the freedom to choose the type of guy that they feel like they match with, and ain't nothing you can do fucking about it, right? In regards to changing their mind, saying it's like, no, you shouldn't, right? People are gonna do what they're gonna do. Your job is to open up whatever way that you can, right? Your opportunities, or make the best out of those opportunities that are given to you, which are very minimal. Like you need to, like when those opportunities come, you need to, one, you need to set up the opportunity. Two, already have a plan when that opportunity comes, and three, fucking close. That's what you got to do in that short period of time as an Asian guy, right? Because while people have a 24-second shot, white guys might have a 24-second shot clock, man, you got like a 5-second shot clock. And you got to make use of those fucking 5 seconds. You get what I'm saying? You know, and finally, I take a look at what my solution is, what the advice that I'm going to give you to the solution of how we stop being Quasimodos in the dating world. Right? Number one, stop thinking that way. That's the first one. And as hard as that is to believe, you've been losing all your time, all the time. From when you're at the bottom, the only way to really go is up. That goes hand in hand with every suck-ass NBA team, right? You get the lottery, you get the first lottery pick, right? You get somebody like LeBron James, and next thing you know, right, 10 years down the road, the Cavs win the championship. You know, like here's what I did. I had to do something to repair my self-picture, and my mentor did a really good job at this. He said, write down everything that you hate about yourself individually in a piece of paper. Don't type it and print it. Handwrite that shit. You know? So I handwrote it. It's like, I hate that my teeth isn't perfect. I hate that I ain't got no social skills. I hate that I'm an introvert. And you know what he did? He says, come here. He got a red Solo cup. Put all those things that you hate about yourself in there. And he dug in his pocket and he dug out like a freaking matchstick, right? He was like, here, light the match and put it in that cup. And I looked at him for a second. I was like, why? And he says, all the things that you hate about yourself, you could burn because you want to. And that burning is the cleansing of your spirit and your soul to all these things that you hate about yourself. And he says, how much longer are you going to carry this weight, man? About having a fucked up childhood, having a stepmom that don't care about you, having a dad that does the bare minimum, having a mom that you ain't never heard from in, 10 years. Because all of us are all fucked up in one way or another. It's like, how much of that weight you going to keep carrying? And I thought about it, and I was like, the 9 or 10 different things inside of that Solo cup. I was like, I don't want to carry that shit the rest of my fucking life. And then the dude took a step back. You know what I did? Freaking lit that match, threw that shit in there, and then I just let it completely burn. And then the dude grabbed me by my shoulder, and he was like, from today, you ain't that motherfucker no more. Man, and I went to sleep feeling so light because I took care of the biggest problem, is all those insecurities. Now, granted, when I woke up, I didn't know, right, that my mentor was going to be there. It's like, we're going to fix all this shit. You want to be an introvert? Fine. You're going to talk to 50 people today. And so we went out. I was in Hawaii at the time. We went to downtown Honolulu to start talking to 50 people. And I had to start conversations with 50 people. I was like, yeah, you want to be an introvert? Nope. Not today. He's like, you want to have an ugly looking haircut? Nope. He took me to a black barbershop. Right? And when I went to New York, my boss over there, he's like, I'm taking you to the Dominican barbershop. You can get a proper haircut. I was like, okay. I had a female mentor who was like, you need to stop fucking dressing like a fucking bum. Like t-shirts and shorts. And he's like, how much money you got saved? I was like, $300 every paycheck. You can get clothes that fit. You have a weak body? Oh, nope. You're going to the gym. You're going to the gym to build this and build this. Fuck all this. And I was like, damn. I was like, oh, you don't know what's wrong with you? Going to fucking school. And all those things. All right. Oh, one more thing. You don't know how to dance? You got 2 left feet? You can go to salsa class 3 days a week. Learning how to dance, one would think would be automatic for a Filipino guy. Nah, man, not the way that they were dancing. Especially if you have a partner. Just imagine. It's like you want to build confidence. Okay, you're gonna dance with this fine ass freaking Puerto Rican girl who knows how to do this, and you're just gonna show your ass until you get better. And I showed my ass until I got better. But guess what? That Puerto Rican girl did not give up on me. Yeah, she knew. She was like, "Why are you taking this class?" Everybody asked. I was like, "I'm gonna take this class because I have a horrible self-image of myself, and I gotta fucking fix it." And then boom, there it is. Right? I was lucky enough to have a mentor that may not be Asian. Well, I know one thing he told me when I finally fixed myself, like 4 years later, when I followed him to another place. He was like, "All right, man, because guess what? You know all these things I've done for you because you're gonna do this to the next Asian cat." And I was like, "Okay," and I've done it. And it was crazy when I had my first Asian kid. Now, when I mentored my first Asian guy, man, I was like, I gave him everything, and he was partly the reason why he wants me to do this. He was like, "Yo, man, why don't you mentor all the other Asian guys that don't have an Asian mentor or Asian dude that's gonna poke him in the eye at the same time, freaking lead him to the promised land for whatever that may be, whatever that means to them." This is what I'm about, man. Identifying all the things that you hate about yourself, cleansing your soul, cleansing your spirit about it, and then do something about this shit. And then you're gonna be better. You're gonna be better. You're gonna be better, and then guess what? Then it's your turn to mentor the future of the Asian guys in dating who's gonna have the same problems. Until we come as a society to where Asian guys are action heroes, athletes, right? Outside of Shohei Ohtani. You know what I mean? When the Asian guys can go toe to toe with any race without any qualifiers. So those are my tips in order for Asian guys to stop being Quasimodos. Until next time. Peace.